There we go. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me today for command training. We'll be going through our reports and goals. So let's get right into it. So when you go on command, you're going to scroll down here to where it says reports, and it's going to bring you to this page here. This is going to be your dashboard, and it's going to show you how many contacts you have, how many leads you have. It's going to show you your database health, right? How much percentage you have, a percentage of your database that has each of these things, right? Home anniversaries, birthdays are good to have, but you would have to know your clients in order to get that information. Or you can just go on the tax records and see when they bought their house and put in a home anniversary and send them something on that day as well. Down here, you're going to be tracking your database activity, which is cool because you get to compare yourself to other agents. This is agents. These are all agents. These are agents in our market center. As you can see, most people are not doing their follow-up, and they're not using command to do their follow-up, to do their lead gen activities as far as keeping up with their database. Most of these are low numbers, right? Especially this. So that means this is the percentage that have been reached out to in the last 91 or more days. 92.6% of their database hasn't been responded to in the last 91 or more days. That's very bad. So you want to check these numbers and see how you're doing against agents in your market center. Are you doing better than these numbers? And I'm doing better than these numbers, which is why I usually check this report. It's just really good. It's one of those things. So aside from that, it can also show you where your lead sources are coming from, right? So we can click this, we can say, oh, cities. No, not cities. Why is this not moving? Right, so it should be changing. I'm not sure what's going on with command right now, but it should be changing to, like if it said cities, so then it would show you a ledger, right, of where most of your contacts are. And when you just do sources, it's going to tell you where most of your lead gen sources come from, right? So let's get into reports. So the reports page here, this is where it's going to show you all your phases that you have clients in. It's going to give you an average time that each one of these go through these different phases, right? How long is it taking you between cultivating, getting appointment, going active, under contract, and closing? It's going to have an average time for each one of those things as you put your contacts in, as you put your opportunities together and you start moving them through the opportunity phases. You'll be able to track and see exactly how long it's taking you to get through from cultivate to close, right? That's important to know as well, because it just keeps you on track to know how long it's going to take you between working with a client, working with a listing, how long it's going to take you to go from just a lead to contract to closing, right? These are important numbers that we should know. So we know exactly how long it's going to take us before we close on the house and how long it's going to take us to get our commissions. So this is a good page to use and a good number to know. The same thing goes for buyer opportunities, where it would work the exact same way. Going through the opportunity phases would show you an average time here as well. So these are good numbers to keep track of and to know. So these are just year to date, but I can do, well, actually I can't do month to date. That would be better. Yearly, I should say. So let's work on over to goals. So this is where you're going to set your goals, right? We're going to go through these numbers and we're going to work backwards. I haven't actually, to be honest, I haven't set my goals on this. This is from probably like a year or so ago when I put this together. I haven't been back on here to do my goals. I know, blame me. But I need to do this as well. Because it's just a very good thing to see. Like I said, you want to go through the motions so you can see how many contacts, how many leads you would need, right, to make contacts, how many appointments you would need to set, how many appointments would need to be kept, how many agreements would need to be signed, how many under contracts would you need, and then how many closed units. So these are all very important numbers because it's going to get you down here to this number, which is your profit tracker, which is what your goal is, right? This is your goal. So these numbers here are going to help you get to this number here, right? These numbers here help you with to learn what you're spending most of your activities on while you're using command. So it says here I'm using mostly emails, which is true. I do a lot of emails, but I do a lot of stuff here as well with command designs and all types of other stuff. But it's saying that my activity breakdown for this year is mostly has just been email marketing, which is fine. Here, you're going to see your sales funnel, right? So this is going to tell you exactly where you are in your goal conversion rate, right? So we know that 5%. So so these are all based off of what I put, right? These are all based off of these numbers here, my goal conversion rate. So at 5, these are the percentage is basically the probability that we'll keep going further down into the process. As you can see, 5% of leads create into 5% of contacts that create 75% of my appointments, that keeps 75% of my appointments kept, that may cause 75% agreements to be signed, and will put me at 75% under contract, which will then give me 15 closed units. So it works backwards, right? Where this number is broken all the way down to this number. So you figure out at 18,000 leads, I got 15 listings, right? Because it's a numbers game. So every person that you speak to that becomes a lead may not be ready to buy, sell, or invest right then and there. So you have to cultivate and nurture them for as long as it's going to take until they're ready to do so. And there's nothing you can do about it besides wait and make sure you're top of mind. So then you're going to have your GCI breakdown here. I guess I put my estimated goal as 142,000. Year to date, I'm at 10 grand. But this is with a profit goal of 90,000, cost of sales about 2,000, and my operating cost, I don't know why it's 50 grand. That is a lot. My operating cost is not 50 grand. The cost of a sale is not $2,000. So these numbers are good because it just keeps you in line of everything that you're going to be doing for your business. So here, let's get into goal setting. Well, this would be 2024 goals. So we're going to set our goals. And we're going to review our goals if we don't want to change them. So here's where you would set this all up, right? So this is going to be for next year, or you can make it for the rest of this year. This year is what I did this way earlier this year. I can think about it. Must have been just playing around with it. But we can do this year for the rest of this year, or we can just focus on next year. I would say just focus on next year. We have a few more months of this year, so we can do whatever we possibly can. But next year would probably be a better way to do our goals. So we want to start up here with what is your profit goal? Somebody give me a goal. What do you want to make your goal for next year? What's your profit goal? You have to have a number.
I don't know. I was thinking about that, but I don't know what's realistic.
Right, exactly, right? So what would you think? So that's why you would work, you could work backwards. So let's say, right, we're going to do a business makeup. So let's say you want to take, you want your business to mostly be listings. So we're going to do 70% of our business is listings, 20% with buyers, and 10% leases, right?
Mhm.
Then it's going to ask us, well, what is our average commission per unit? So your average commission, let's say your average commission for a listing is 8 grand, is 8,000, right? Your average buyer is 4,000. 4,000. And out of your leases, your average lease, let's say it's $500. Now, if we do, so now we take the numbers, right? If we do 10 listings, we'll make how much? 80 grand, right?
Right.
Right. So we'll make 80 grand if we do 10 listings. If we do 5 buyers, that's 20 grand, right? So
Right.
that's 10 listings, 5 buyers. So that's 80 grand, 20 grand, that's 100 grand. And let's say we do 10 leases, right? So that's 5,000. So our annual profit goal would be $105,000. Right? It sounds impossible. Sounds impossible, but if you only get 10 listings, 5 buyers, and 10 leases, could you do that? Or come close to it? Yes, you absolutely could. So that's what we're going to set our goals on. So this is what we're going to set our goal for, right? Because you have to set a high goal in order to even come close to it. Because let's say you don't make 100,000. Let's say you make 50,000. Is that still good?
Yes,
Yes, absolutely. Let's say you make 20,000. Is that still good?
it is.
Absolutely. So we're gonna set a high goal, and the thing about it is to get there. We want to get there. You want to set something high, right? You don't want to set something low, because we could simply go in here and set a goal for 20 grand, right? Which would then put these numbers where they are, but you would only get that's one listing. Let's say you got one listing, three buyers, and no leases. There's your 20 grand. That's off of just one listing though. One listing, 3 buyers, and no leases. There's your 20 grand. But is that a goal? Is one listing a goal?
No.
Is 3 buyers a goal? Is 0 leases a goal? No.
Right. No.
Right. None of these are actual goals. But 10 listings is a great goal. 5 buyers is a great goal. 10 leases is a great goal. Those are great goals, which is why we're going to set this number at 105,000. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
good. So once we do that and we have our everything set up here, we're going to go to continue. That's not a valid number? That was valid.
It said the expenses.
Oh, well, it's not letting me change it, so. Here, let's try this. Probably gonna make me. Oh, the expenses, right. Okay. So your expenses, right? So the expenses are how much does it take for you to run your business? And we have to look at this from a yearly standpoint. So we know that every month we have to pay $98 for our office fees, right? So that's $1,200 right there. We also have to pay our MLS fees. I'm not sure which ones you guys have, but let's say you only have CJMLS or GSMLS. CJMLS is about $87 every 6 months, and GSMLS is, I think, like $88 for the year. So let's say you only have one of those. So let's say you only have GSMLS, so you only pay $88. So your expenses would be the $88 plus the office fee, plus what you're going to spend on, let's say you do social media marketing and you spend say you spend $20 a month on social media marketing, right? So that's $240. So your current number would be about $1,500. Well, no, about $1,600 on yearly expenses, right?
Then we can add core and then monthly super also.
Right. You can also
mandatory.
add, right. You're going to add your core, your monthly Supra. So let's say let's move it up. Let's add our dues in there too. So let's say you're about 2,500, right? And for the year, for all your expenses, for your dues, for everything. This pays for the works, your whole business, right? Cost of sales are how much money did you put into to get that, to not only get the listing, but to sell the house. Like, did you put any of your anything towards marketing dollars, right? Did you do any paid ads for the listing? Did you hire a photographer? Did you hire a staging company? You know, what came out of your pocket for the cost of the sale? So let's say you spent money on social media advertising, and let's say you paid for photography or a drone unit or something that you wanted to do for your client. So let's say your cost of sales for the year was $1,000, right? You see how your goal went up? Your goal went up because you need more money to get this goal. This is your profit. You want $105,000, but you need 108.5 because of your expenses. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Right. So 96%, this is a really good profit number, right? At 96%. And you're only spending less than 1% on the cost of sales, and you're spending 2% of that on your operating expenses. These are all really good numbers. So everyone good so far with this?
Yes.
Great. So let's move on. So these are our lead conversion rates, right? There are recommended rates that we can use, or we can set these ourselves. I would say stick to the recommended rates because we don't know what our conversion rate is. We don't know how to really set one for ourselves. But they know the metrics already because they already have it. All of our metrics from doing our converting from lead to under contract, pending to close. So leave their metrics that are already here. So we're going to use recommended rates, right, which are already here, right? Or we can just go in, and if you wanted to, you can set them individually, and you can go in and change whatever you want. You could say, so let's go through it real fast. So leads are people who have shown interest in the services you offer, but haven't engaged in a two-way conversation. So these are people who know what you do, but you haven't talked to them yet about what you do. Contacts, leads that you have held a two-way conversation with and have established a value-based relationship with. Your contacts are people that you spoke to that know you and may want to possibly do business with you somewhere down the line, right? Your appointment set are scheduled meetings with prospective clients, examples, listing consultation, face-to-face touches to further a relationship. So these are the appointments that you're setting with these contacts, right? Because you want your leads to go to contacts. You want your contacts to be appointments. Every one of your contacts should be an appointment, right? Appointments kept are scheduled meetings with prospective clients that actually take place. So these are the appointments that you actually go to, the actual meeting of you and your contact, right? Then we're going to go to agreements. So it's accepted, right? Your legally binding offers on homes or when the landlord and tenant have signed a lease. So the agreement is when you get an offer accepted. This is after you have them sign everything, and all the agreements that you have get signed and the offer gets accepted, and you can move forward in the transaction process of either selling the house, buying the house, or a rental. So under contract or pending, transactions between a buyer and seller that have taken place with your assistance. So this is that part. This is when we get everything going, and this is when we can start to work towards our closing. After we get everything signed, all the agreements are binding, we're all good to go, then we can work towards a closing. Okay. Is everyone good with this so far?
Yes.
Okay. So we want to convert our leads into contacts, our contacts into appointments. All of our appointments should be kept, but we can't make everyone meet with us when we want to. So you want to make those appointments into agreements. Agreements meaning they're ready to sign contracts with you. They're ready to go they're ready for you to represent them. And under contract or pending is when you give them the offers, they get an offer signed, a contract signed, and we can start working towards closing. Okay. So we're going to keep those as they are. And we're going to continue. So now we're just going to review our goals, right? Does this all make sense to us? Is this good? Can we work this, right? Can we do these numbers? Can we do 10 listings, 5 buyers, and 10 leases? Are those possible goals? Yes. Yes, they are. So we're going to set these goals. And then once you do that, this screen is going to cultivate, and it's going to tell you what you need to do. So in order to get these numbers, right? This number, this is what you need to do. You need to go through 46,293 leads. Out of those, you need 2,315 contacts. Out of those, you're going to set 116 appointments. Out of those, see these percentage numbers are just based off of probability, right? So out of these numbers, 87, you're going to have 87 appointments kept, right? Which is going to take us to agreements. So you need 66 agreements signed. Now this number here is just a conversion rate. So this is like a 0%. So based off of our previous actions, we'll make this number go up. Once we start doing these motions, these numbers will all start to change, but it's going to give you what an annual goal should be for you, right? So your annual goal is 66 agreements. You're under contracts, you'll need 49 under contract, and you'll need 36 closed units, right? So this is based off of, this is with buyers, leases, this is with everything. This is all your goals lined up for you. And this is a yearly thing. So these are how many leads you need for the year, right? These are how many contacts you need for the year. This is how many appointments you need set for the year. This is how many appointments need to be kept for the year. How many agreements for the year, how many under contracts for the year, and how many closed units. So you need 36 closed units in order to reach this number. Does everybody got that?
Yes.
That yes didn't sound too convincing.
I got it, but I'm back at the 46,293. That's a lot of leads.
So that's a lot of people to speak to, right? That's a lot of people to go through, right? But we can break this number down. So let's break that number down for you real fast. Let me get a calculator. So if you have 46,293 leads and you have a whole year to do it, that's 3,857 leads per month, right? Divided by 4 weeks, you would need 964 leads a week. Now, this sounds like an extreme number, right? 964 leads every single week.
No.
Now, right? That's an extreme number, right? It sounds crazy. Divide that by 5. That means you would need a 193 leads per day. This is over 5 days. You would need 193 leads per day. Let's break that down. So that's 8 leads an hour. Can you do that? Can you do 8? Can you find 8 leads in an hour?
No.
I don't think
Yes.
so.
Yes. Yes, you can. You can. You totally can. You can totally do 8 leads in an hour because you're going to work on your 5 lead sources. These are all based off of numbers. See, you guys are looking at it from a standpoint of, how and where. I don't have the training to know where to get all this and to do all this. But this is why we're going through these sessions so that I can show you exactly how you can reach these numbers, right? You can totally do 8 leads in an hour if you use your lead sources that you have, right? You're going to use your sphere of influence. You're going to be using your social media. You're going to be working with expired listings, withdrawn listings, for sale by owners. You're going to be working with landlords and renters. I mean, there's tons of ways to get these leads, right? To get 8 leads an hour, right? So typically we should be spending about, they say we should be spending about 15 hours a week on lead gen. Now, based on 15 hours a week, if you were to do 8 leads an hour, 15, that's 120 leads a week, right? It's 120 leads a week, which translates into 406 leads for the year. Now, those are low numbers, right? Because we know that based off of these algorithms, we know that this many leads gets us this many closed units, right? We know that because that's what Command is telling us. That's what the metrics are telling Command, that if you go through these numbers, you'll end up with this number, right? And this number could be higher. All these numbers could be higher. Now, this isn't a complete metric of, okay, let's say you get 46,000 leads. Let's say you make every last one of them a contact and you get 46,000 contacts. Let's say out of that 46,000, you get 43,000 appointments set. Out of the 43,000, let's say 40,000 of them are kept. 38,000 of them go under agreement and 35,000 are under contract, and you close 32,000 units in a year. Who's to say that that's not possible? I mean, time-wise, it's probably not, but but for the most part, we can't say what's possible and what isn't possible because we haven't worked at it yet, right? We haven't been doing these activities yet. So we don't know how far we can stretch ourselves. So don't limit yourself by seeing this big number and saying, oh, I can't do that. How is that possible to do? Don't let that number scare you. That number should be an indication of, wow, I may have to work at this a little bit harder than I thought. I may have to go a little harder than I was anticipating with this. You know, I need to spend maybe a little bit more time on this. You know, are you time managing? Are you time blocking out time for when you're just specifically working on parts of your business? Whether it be lead gen, whether it be content creation, whether it be trainings, are you blocking out time to do those things? So that's what we have to get to. So these numbers are very much possible for anybody, but it just depends on how much you're willing to put into the actions and the activities and the trainings and everything else that comes along with it. Because these are pretty much like top-notch agent numbers. I mean, they're probably not going through this many leads in order to get, you know, this many contacts. But at the end of the day, if we don't have a number, then we're just going out blindly. So let's say we speak to 40,000 people and we get 1 closed unit, right? That would be terrible. But if you didn't know the numbers, you wouldn't even know that you spoke to 40,000 people, right? You wouldn't have a goal to go towards. You wouldn't know that this is many people that you would have to speak to in order to get to the rest of these numbers. You wouldn't know any of this. So these goals are good to just keep in mind. I wouldn't say there's definitely something to strive for, especially this number here, 36 closed units. That's what you want, right? You want 36 units closed because that's between listings, buyers, and leases. So we want 36 closed units all together. So that can be broken down into, let's say I took 12 listings for the year. I got 10 buyers, right? So that's 22, and I got 14 leases. Is that a good year? Yes, that's a great year. That's an amazing year. And I guarantee you, out of that, you would probably make more than this number. So we have to get used to seeing numbers so we know where we are right now and where we need to be. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay. So don't be afraid by just all of these numbers that are here. This is for you to just get an idea of what goes on when we're talking about lead gen, right? How the numbers work, right? What are the conversion rates for each process of the phase. And these metrics are based off of everything in command. This is based off of everyone's numbers and goals, right? This is just not just mine. This is based off of everyone. And then you can also compare your goals to everyone else's. So these are compared to all agents, right? Let's go to agents in my market center because most people aren't using this part of command. So that's why it's at 0%, right? Agents in my state. 80% agents in my state are here. They're at 89% here. They're at 0% here, 0% there, 0% there, 0% there, and 0% there, which means they are cultivating leads, right? They're getting contacts. They're just not setting appointments, not keeping them, signing agreements, getting under contract, and closing the units. Now, this may just because they're not putting them in command, right? Because we don't all do everything in command. So they might not be putting their appointments that they set in command. They might not be putting their appointments that they kept in command. They might wait and just put their agreements in directly into DocuSign and send it to the office. So they're not tracking this metric, right? They're not tracking the metric of how many they put under contract or their close units, which is perfectly fine because that's up to you to do so. But they are keeping track of how many contacts and how many leads. So that's a good comparison to see where you are compared to everyone else and see if your numbers are on track with some other agents. We all good here? Oh, we didn't go down here. Okay. So yeah, so now we have our conversion rate set. We have our activities. So once you start doing activities, it's going to start breaking down, okay, what are you using this for? So as you can see here, it's going to say 0 meetings, 0 calls, 0 Twilio, 0 smart plans. That's not true because I have tons of smart plans. 0 calendar events, 0 notes, 0 search neighborhoods, which also isn't true, and favorited listing. 0 meetings. Okay. But this is going to change once you start using command a bit more and you start kind of throwing around your weight and using different aspects of it. So this is just from this year. This is from this month that says no activities found, which is crazy because I use this almost every day. So there are certain things in command that just take a little bit to cultivate, and that's fine because this metric is cool. It just lets you know what your activities are. But these metrics are what you really want to stick with and focus on. So you want to focus on your number. You want to focus on your operating expenses. You want to make sure this number is low. We don't want to spend all our money operating, but at the same time, we have to spend something to operate, right? Because business isn't free. So we have to have our operating expenses in order, but we also want to make sure we're not overextending ourselves if we're not doing any current transactions, because you don't want to start getting to a habit of using your money, right, to pay for your real estate expenses. You want to start to get in a habit of using your transaction money for your real estate expenses once you start to get them, and they will be coming. So now we're going to check our metrics for our email metrics. So this is cool because you're going to be doing a fair share of email marketing using this as well. So these are numbers that you want to keep track of and to know. So in the last 30 days, out of 1,832 sent emails, I only got 1 that was marked as spam. That's a really good number, right? Also, in command, you get 5,000 emails every single month to send, that you can send through command. 5,000 every single month. Whatever you don't use, obviously, it doesn't roll over that way. It just resets the 5,000 the following month. But you can send 5,000 emails every single month, should you choose, and you should choose. So these are out of how much of the limit that I used for the month. So I only sent 1,566 emails this month, right? And you can go in closer and it can tell you exactly where. 5% of those were from my campaigns, 26% were from my smart plans. Can anyone tell me why my smart plan number is bigger than my campaign number?
No.
Okay, so my smart plan number is bigger than my campaign number because I follow up. My follow up is in my smart plan. So 26% of my emails that I'm sending are for follow up reasons, not for campaign reasons, right? Campaign means I'm sending one email for a specific reason. Like I showed you how to do the fall home tips email design. That was my campaign. That was one campaign that I use. But my smart plans are continuous because I have the neighborhood nurture, and I also have a smart plan that sends them emails I think it's every 5 days for, I think it's like 2 months, 2 or 3 months. So that's why my smart plan has more than my campaigns, because once I get a contact, I automatically put them into a smart plan. This way, my follow-up is automatic. I don't have to touch it. I don't have to do anything with it. I just have to stay on top of it and make sure that I'm not only just emailing them, but I'm also calling them and texting them as well once I get their information. And I also send them information that may just be specifically for them. Sometimes I do that where I can find something that may be specific to a certain area or a certain demographic. So then I would send that email out just to them specifically. So this is my delivery and engagement. So 99.9% of my emails get delivered. Only 0.2% of them are undelivered. My open rate is 35%, and that is a really, really good number because usually the number is more like 15 to 10%. So 35% is a good number. Now, your clicked rate is when you associate a link. So any links that you put into your emails, that would be your clicked. One reply. So this is just, people that respond to your email, people just reply to your emails for any reason. That's at 0.1%. And my unsubscribed is only at 0.4%. So these are really good numbers to have. So you want to make sure that you're just keeping track of your numbers. It's very important to know these so you know where you're spending most of your time and you know if this may not be working, right? This might not be it. You might need to switch up and do something else. You can also go here to upgrade your plan if you wanted to, which takes you over to our market center, our marketplace anyway, where you can add more emails if you needed to. But 5,000 emails a month, I think, is more than enough to get started with. All right, so let's get out of that. So now let's get into text and calls. So Twilio is an automated text message system that we have access to that you just have to pay a monthly for. And I'll show you that right now. So this is Twilio, right? Twilio does all of these things. It has a self-serve number selection. It does call forwarding. You can manage your credits, things like that. So here are the prices and what you get. So you figure for $12 a month, you can send 500 to 1,500 messages. That's really good. And this is mass. So this isn't just you sending one to one person. This will go through and send it to all of your contacts that you have in command, which is a really good thing. You can also put this into a smart plan and it will automatically send text messages for you as you schedule it. So that's another good thing as well, where you can put this into a smart plan and never pick up your phone at all to text any of your contacts because you have it already set up in command. And that works well for follow-up. So this is a tool that you guys could use as well. Once you start getting off the ground and you start adding more contacts into command, you can have a mass way to get in contact with all of them at one time. So I've been looking over this myself. I'm actually probably going to sign up for this probably this month because I've been looking at it for quite some time and just debating over it. But I have enough context now where I can actually use this and it be beneficial to me. So make sure, so like I said, everything is an experiment. So don't be afraid to try this. You know, once you get your contacts start rolling in and you want to find a new way to reach out to them, feel free to try this because it doesn't hurt. Everything's an experiment. We have to do what we have to do and figure things out as best we can. Okay, so I haven't used Twilio, so it's not going to give me any metrics. It's not going to tell me anything about this stuff here. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Does anyone have any questions about what I just went over today? Great. Awesome.
I think I know the answer though. So we're assuming that most agents, at least in our office, they use it for contact management, but not necessarily for the other features in Command.
Right. So most of the agents in our office, right, especially the top agents in our office, don't use Command. They have their own CRM that they've been using for 1,000 years or whatever, and they swear by it. They think Command is the bane of all existence.
Oh,
But in all actuality, it's only because they've never used it. They don't care to use it. They don't care to learn it, and that's perfectly fine for them. But this is what we have, right? This is what we have to use. This is our tool. We don't want to pay for a CRM that we're already paying for. We pay monthly for this, right?
Right.
We pay for technology every single month. So why not use something that you're already paying for instead of going to pay for something else on top of what you already are paying for? So we're going to use what we have. We have Command. So we're going to use Command as much as we possibly can, and we're gonna master it because it's all we have. Do you have a backup CRM you could use?
I do not.
Right. None of us do. And none of them have as much training about it as Command does. Because you're going to go to a new CRM and they're going to have these steps that you're going to follow. And that's it. There's not too many training videos on other CRMs. I don't even know what a CRM was until I got into KW. So that should give you enough enough proof right there that, it's very trying because like I said, we experiment a lot, right? We don't know what results we're going to get from the actions that we do. We don't know what it's going to bring us. It could bring us a ton of buyers or listings, or it could bring us nothing at all. We don't know until we actually do the activity. So be mindful to experiment. That's a big thing. Be ready to experiment. Go experiment. Try new things. Try something that you may be nervous about. Try that. It may work out for you, or it may not, but we will never know if you don't try. Everyone cool with that?
Yes, thanks.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. So, think I gave you guys enough homework today. I was going to give you something else, but I think I gave you enough this morning. I don't want you guys to burn out on me. So we'll stick to this today. But our next command training, I'm going to have all of you create a design. We're all going to create a design. I'm going to go through it step by step. We're going to have the class, and then I want all of you, I'm going to put you all in a breakout room. And you guys are going to come up with a design that you're going to send out, whether it be an email design, a social media design, it doesn't matter. Just any design that you can think of what you would want to use for your business. So we're going to do that on, what's today? On Friday. Yes, Friday. We're going to do that. And that's going to be your Friday post, whether you send it by email, whether you send it by Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is. That's going to be your Friday post. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So don't get too nervous about that. That stuff is pretty easy to go through. It's just, showcasing your creativity, what we all like to do, right? We all like to be creative and show that we can do things and things like that. So this is going to be perfect for that. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So I will talk to you all soon. Natisha, I think I'm calling you right at
12:30.
12:30, right, okay, good. Make sure I have that. Yes, I have that down. Okay, 12:30, I will be giving you a call. And then we will talk and work through what you have going on. Nikita, text me as well so we can set up some one-on-one time. Rashmi, text me. And who is on the Banzel? What's your name on the Banzel
It's
email?
either Vijaya or Deepak. I don't know who's on
I don't think it's
call, right?
I don't know. I guess we'll find out sooner or later. Either that or Deepak spying on me for my my coaching. He's trying to get some tips. That's how it's done, Deepak. No, we stop. But thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing you on Friday.
Thank you.
All right, have a good one.
Yeah. You too.
Do we
Bye-bye.
have a meeting at 6 in the evening today?
No, we don't have a meeting today at 6. That's for Monday. I'm going to be doing some more evening classes coming soon. I just need to rework my schedule a little bit, and then
Okay.
we'll be able to do some more evening classes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Talk to you guys later.
Don't forget to stop your recording.
Yes, I'm doing it now. Thank you.